Howdy folks, and welcome back to Front End Hero. So last week I was given a task by a client to create an online contract for their vendors. The contract was to be used primarily online, so it was just a case of using HTML and CSS to accomplish the task. But as there were a lot of points, subpoints, and sub-subpoints, I had to do a lot of Googling to figure out the CSS counters. So the top level would be 1, sub-level would be 1.1, etc., and so on. So I thought I'd get on here and create a little video to show how I accomplished this task. So let's get into it. So in my code editor, you can see that we've just got two files here, an index.html file and a style.css. And I'm just adding the boilerplate code here for the index.html file now, and then we can add in the list down below. And we'll simply start off by creating an unordered list, opening and closing tag, and then just create a list item in between. And I'm going to give each list a class of each level. So the first level will be level 1, sub-level will be level 2, and so on and so forth. And as this is a top level list, we'll just call this top level. And then begin on adding a sub list. And I won't bore you creating this list manually line by line. Here's one I made earlier. And as you can see, we have our list and sub lists ready to go. Obviously the counters are incorrect, but we're going to tackle that now in a moment. Okay, so into our style sheet, we're just going to create a wildcard that will basically remove margins and paddings from everything and just give it a box sizing of border box to bring everything back to a baseline style. And why is that not working? Okay, so I forgot to include the style sheet in our index.html file. Okay, pop that in right there. And now everything is looking good. And back into the style sheet we go. Okay, so here we're just going to carry on from the above reset, and we're just going to create some HTML and body rules. Basically what we're going to do is give the page 100% in width and height, and make the body display flex so we can just align everything, and then just give it a font family of Arial to clean things up. Here I'm just going to create some global rules for our lists, list items, and pseudo before selectors. And now we can work on styling the list items of the first list, which is level 1. And the main property we're going to add in here is the counter increment property. And we're going to give it a value of level 1. So that basically means each top level link is going to continue from 1, 2, 3, and so on. And we're adding this as a direct descendant to each list item in the level 1 list. So it only applies to the top level list items. And next we're just going to add a margin bottom of 10 pixels just to give everything a bit of breathing room. And we'll just add some padding left to give some space for the CSS counters. Maybe 20 or possibly 40 pixels, I think. Okay, that looks good. And finally, we're just going to make the top levels font weight bold. So it just gives a kind of nice little hierarchy. So top levels are bold and all sub lists will be normal weight. And now we have to add the code in to make everything font weight normal. So what we're going to do is add a wildcard after our list item in our level 1 rule that basically just says font weight normal. And there we go. And now the fun part. We can add in our CSS counters now for our level 1 list. And all we're going to do is add in a before pseudo selector to each list item in the level 1 list. And you can see here that we're basically just using the counter function of our level 1 variable from before. And we're just adding that into the content property here with an appended period. So that's it for the level 1 lists. Let's move on to level 2 now. And for this level 2 list, what we're going to do is a counter reset level 2. So this will create a new counter for our level 2 list, and it will start from 0. So each list item inside will be 1, 2, 3, and so on. And like the above direct descendants of our level 1 list, what we're going to do here is say counter increment level 2. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Now copy that. And the last rule set here will be for our before pseudo selector. So all we're going to do is add in the content now. So we're going to say content is counter level 1. And what I should do before finishing this CSS counter styling is give the list item a bit of padding. So there we go there. I'm going to set that to maybe 40 pixels. And that looks pretty good to me. Okay, so good breathing room here. And while we're here, we might as well say margin bottom 10 pixels. Yep, that looks pretty good. Okay, so back down to our before pseudo selector to carry on with this counter. We're going to say counter level 1 and with a period, and then finish off with a counter level 2. So it'll be 1.1, 1.2, and so on and so forth. There we go, 1.1, 1.2, and 3.1. Okay, fantastic. And let me just clean up some of these list items here. So I'm going to pop back up to the level 2 unordered list and just say, let's see, maybe margin top, give it 10 pixels so it's not so close to the top level items. And that looks pretty good to me. Right, so I actually want the top level and the sub level, level 1 and 2, to be in line with each other. So what I'm going to say is margin left negative 40 pixels because we're already giving it a padding of 40 pixels to the left. So that will basically bring everything back in line. So I think this looks pretty good at this moment. And now we can move to our level 3 list. And again, same as above, we're going to create a new counter called level 3. Okay, and again, we're just going to create a direct descendant for our level 3 list for our list item. Counter increment is level 3. And then simply create the before pseudo selector. And here we're going to implement the CSS counter. So first up, we're just going to say content, and we're going to give it a left bracket and then a right bracket. Let's just indent that a little bit there. So padding left is about 20 pixels, maybe a bit more, maybe 30 pixels. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. And while we're here, we might as well say margin bottom 10 pixels, just to give everything a bit more breathing space. And again, for the level 3 list, we should probably just give it a margin top of 10 pixels also. Yep, that looks good. Okay, so back down to our before pseudo selector. And instead of numbers, as I said, we're going to use lowercase characters. So I'll simply say bracket counter level 3, comma lower alpha, and then close bracket. And then we have lowercase characters for our third level list. And now we're on the fourth and final list. So level 4 is going to be the same, counter reset, and we're simply going to say level 4. And down below, for each direct descendant of each level 4 list, we're just going to say counter increment is level 4. And our last rule is going to be our before pseudo selector for our level 4 list. So like the third list, this is going to be a little bit different. We're going to say content, and again, left brackets, right brackets, and in between, we're going to say counter is level 4, comma, and lower Roman. So there they are there. We just need to clean everything up with some padding to the left. So into our direct descendant of our level 4 list, we're going to say padding left, maybe 30 pixels. And I think that looks okay. But again, we just probably need to give things a bit of margin. So I'm going to say in our list item, we're going to give it a margin bottom of 10 pixels. And in our list, we're going to say margin top is 10 pixels. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, if you need to kind of create these legal lists with CSS, hopefully this helped you out. And yeah, that's it for me. If this tutorial was useful, please give me a like and a follow, and see you guys in the next video.